the time for this speech?
The time is?
I think it's 5 to 7.
5 to
5 to
7.
7.
So at 5 minutes you have the green light,
Okay,
6 minutes the yellow light, and then 7 minutes will be the red light, and you have 30 seconds to finish off.
thank you very much. Presently, it was reported over every land and sea that Asclepius was discovered, that he wished to heal the sick, and he was raising the dead to life. Who was Asclepius? We believe that this myth or story from ancient Greece is at least 3,000 years old. He's discussed in the Iliad of Homer in about mid-12th century BC. And at that time, Homer said that Asclepius was a real person, and he was a real healer, and he was purported to have miraculous healings. The myth was that he was born the son of Zeus, and that he was married to a woman, a pony. We don't know much about her, but she was said to have helped the healing with peace, tranquility, and harmony. He had 2 daughters, Hygienia, who we get the word hygiene from, and she was meant to bring cleanliness and purity through the healing. He also had another daughter named Panacea, where we also get that word from, and she was all healing, bringing all maladies into healing. He also had a small son, Telephoros. He wore a mantle, and he was directed to thinking of the energies that were greater than human beings and tried to direct them into the healing. Asclepius was said to have an ambrosia. I don't know if any of you are fans of the Ambrosia restaurant in Rockville, but in any case, these things all live on. Ambrosia was an immortal exhaler that would help heal and greatly soothe the comforted. So this cult grew and grew till about the 3rd century BC. It was extremely popular. The most well-known one was in Edessa in the northeast Peloponnese, in the mainland below Athens, about an hour and a half south of Athens on the mainland. And there was a grove there that surrounded the ancient temple. People would come on the sacred road all through Greece to get there. And the pilgrimage was considered a way of changing yourself. When you left your home, you would tell your loved ones that you may not come back. Or if you did come back, you would not be the same person. And when the pilgrims went on the sacred road, they would stop at small pilgrimage sites over and over again, wells and groves and mountains. And they would make offerings and pray, and they would sing together, and they would meet other people who were ill going along this road. Once they made it to the great temple, there was a sense that the way you would receive your deepest healing was through sleep. So everyone was prescribed 1 or 2 nights of sleep in the temple. It was said that the family of Asclepius and Asclepius himself would come to you while you were sleeping and tell you what remedies you needed to take, whether it be baths or herbs or so on. When the patients, so to speak, and they were like patients because in a way this is the closest we had in that ancient time to a modern hospital. There would be a very large number of ill people that would be in this temple at any one time. And they had trained priests in the temple. And they were really a mixture of priests, psychiatrists, psychologists, doctor, all rolled into one. And these trained priests would go to each person while they were sleeping, and they would talk to them while they were sleeping, giving them positive affirmations or suggestions about how they needed to heal. The priest would also take with him 2 animals, one being a trained temple dog who was trained to sense where the wounds of anyone was and lick these wounds, which was said to bring healing to them. And also trained temple snake. At that time, the snake was not considered evil. The snake was considered a sacred animal who could sense out herbs and other remedies for people. The trained snake would wrap himself around his walking stick. And this is what we call the caduceus, which is still used as the symbol of medicine today. With these healings in the temple, each person that was a patient was given a tablet. They would write their name, their illness, and what caused them to recover. We have many of these left. In the history of medicine, when they compared this with the efficacy of medicine today, many things do not seem that different. There are many, many healings that happened. And today, as you know, sometimes we have healings and sometimes we have good efficacy and sometimes we don't. But they did have documented evidence of what happened there. There was also graffiti all around the temples too, to further give their story of what happened in their healing. The Hippocratic Oath also still, you say it with, I swear by the power of Asclepius and by Hygiena and by Panacea, and that's how we begin the Hippocratic Oath, which is still used as the oath. Hippocrates lived in Kos, which had the second largest temple to Asclepius after the one in Edessa. And so he grew up with that. In terms of a personal note, as you all know, I went to Greece recently and I went down the Sacred Way. The major road from Athens to Corinth is this road, still used today. And it was greatly sad to me, the state of the ecology. The last time I had been there was over 10 years ago, and that was before the Olympics, before joining the EU. Greece was a much more simple and poor country that didn't have the wealth to build up things. In going down the sacred road, everyone kind of knows this mountain was sacred, this mountain was sacred. It had many ancient pilgrimage sites for thousands of years. And after Asclepius' cult ends, the Christian church goes to the same places and names them for Ios Panteleimon and Ios Cosmos and Dominos, who are all major healers in the Greek faith. And Cosmos and Damian also have the same idea. They come to you when you're sleeping. So, and they were all doctors, these three saints. So what ends up happening is you have a continuity all the way through the Byzantine era, surviving through the Ottoman occupation, and now you go through and you can see the churches in the distance, you can see the sacred road, but it's very heavily developed, it's very heavily strained with gasoline stations, with pollution, and there really wasn't much sense of an open area that you could clearly see, as had once been for thousands of years. And so I think that the reason why I love these stories and I like to think about them is I don't think that we're that different from the ancients. I know so many people think we have videos, we have DVDs, we're so different. To me, the search for the healing, the search for truth is universal and ancient. And I will close with a hymn, and it might sound like a hymn from many churches or traditions. This is an Orphic hymn, which is the 3rd century BC. To great Asclepius, skilled to heal mankind, the physician kind, whose arts medicinal can alone assuage diseases or dreadful rage. Strong, lenient God, regard my supplicant prayer, adorn my lovely hair. conveyed the means of mitigating pain. O powerful, all flushing, abundant, bright, honored offsprings of light, come, blessed Savior, human health defend, and the mortal life afford prosperous end. Thank you.